All right, greetings everybody and welcome to week number 14. That is right, week number 14 of your 7314 class, which is your reference class. As always, I'm your professor, Dr. J.S.K. Austin, and we are almost at the end. This is the next to the last week, and next week I'll make my last check-in video for this class, and it'll be your last week of coursework, and then we're gonna bring this to an end. So I am gonna say, I thank you. I'm gonna talk more, of course, next week. But for now, I just want to say, thank you. I again enjoyed my time with you all. I thought that you all did very, very well with Jamie the week before Thanksgiving. So thank you for that. I think that you all were a great audience. You all were very engaged. I was very, very pleased with the interaction there. And I could tell that you all really were mindful of the things that I felt you all needed to be mindful of, as far as services to the disabled and, just again, removing access barriers and that sort of thing. I was very, very pleased with how you all did. But with that said, we're going to do a state of the course update. And then after the state of the course update, I am going to tell you about Gale Legal Forms database, which is actually a database that I hope I haven't told you about earlier. I was looking through the announcements, and usually that's actually the first database that I kind of demo. And I don't think I did it this time because I looked through the announcements and I didn't put it on any of the things. So I hope I'm not repeating myself. If I am repeating myself, if I've done this database before and I just didn't put it in the language of the announcement, then I apologize. Dr. Jace is getting old, and there are a lot of things going on, as we all know. So, but yeah, the Gale Legal Forms database is a neat database to know about. So I am going to introduce you all to that very quickly after our state of the course update. But first, let's get into the state of the course update. So you all are pretty much almost done. What you've got left are the semester-long project, which will be due on December the 12th, which is a week from this coming Friday. And aside from that, you will also have a discussion board prompt that is due this coming Sunday, okay? Now, during the break, I tried to get caught up. I didn't get caught up, as you all know, but I did get quite a few things done in this class and some of my other classes. In this class, I did get the LibGuides graded, which that was something that I wanted to do for you all. The LibGuides were coming in kind of close to Thanksgiving this time around, or very close to Thanksgiving this time around. So I wanted to go ahead and get those scores back to you all so that you had a really good idea of how things were looking when you went into the semester long, when you went into your last thing, which is going to be your semester long project. So, yeah, I wanted to just get you all, I wanted you all to, again, know what your major grade assignments were, so you have all those. And then I did get a few of the discussion board posts graded as well. I still need to do number 6 and number 2, and number 7 will be next week. But yeah, you should have a pretty good idea about your grade. And there is something that I am going to show you all right now. And this bears mentioning, and I want this to be on your radar. I'm going to put this in the course announcement as well. So what I want you all to be aware of is that the Canvas kind of auto-generates these grades, and I've never actually had the time and patience to just sit down and stop it from doing that, or to get the grades aligned with my grading scale. But what I need you all to realize is that you are not going by Canvas and the letter grade that Canvas is telling you. In order to get the A, you need the 95% or above. Now, that can be kind of tricky. You can look at your percentages, basically, because there are some of you who are excused from certain assignments, and so you don't have the if you were excused from certain assignments, then you may, like, let's say you were excused from one of the sync sessions because it was a religious holiday. In that case, your total amount of points would drop from 100 to 97 as far as your total amount of potential points. And so in that case, if you had like a 91 out of 97, that's not as grave, or 90, maybe I should say a 92 out of a 97. That may still be in the A range, whereas 92 out of 100 was not, if that makes sense. So you are going to want to go by your percentage. But yeah, please know that whatever Canvas is assigning, it's not going to go against this. So assuming that you weren't exempted from anything, if you were, and that's going to be most of you, if you had the potential to gain all 100 points, then you do need 95 points to get an A. You do need to have 84 points to get a B. You do need 71 points to pass, okay? So I want that to be clear, all right? Now, as far as state of the course, the next thing I want to talk about is the LibGuides that you all just turned in. For those of you, first of all, let me say that these were overall very good. I am, in fact, going to mention that you all actually did have an accomplishment, and this was something I was very happy about. So this is the first time. This is the first time since I've been here in 2018 that I've assigned this LibGuide assignment every semester that I have been here since 2018. This is the first time that I did not have anybody make their LibGuide video too long. This is the first time that that's happened. Everybody's LibGuide video this time around fell within the grace period. So I appreciate you all following instructions there and being obedient. That saved me a lot of time. It did allow me to get through the LibGuides a bit quicker as far as grading them. And pretty much everybody did okay. So the other thing that I'm going to mention, and you're on your honor to not share this information with people who take this class behind you, because if I do find out that this information is getting out to my future students, then I'm going to have to change things up, and you will basically have made things harder for them. So don't go blabbing this off to them. But one thing that I do want you all to know is that there's basically a fail-safe within the rubric. The rubric is designed so that as long as you pretty much do the work, yeah, I did mention before you turned it in that it's almost impossible to get a 25 out of 25. And we did have a few 25 out of 25s, but not many. And don't feel bad if that wasn't you. Again, it's not designed for you to get a perfect grade. But what I will say is that the lowest grades were still B's. And the reason for that is because the LibGuide, again, is set up the way that I put this rubric together. You will really have to slack off and not follow directions in order to get less than a B. The way that the points are put in there, I put a lot of things in there so that the points work more for you than against you, if that makes sense. So again, as long as you follow the prompt, you're going to get, most of those video points, and those can be easy points. You're going to get the points for description, for having your descriptions concise, as long as you did that simple thing, which most people do. As far as having an appropriate topic, everybody got that. So that's the thing. It's like, yes, as long as you are pretty much on the ball as far as following directions, you're going to get a B on that assignment. So I know that the assignment stressed some of you out. But that, again, that's why you had over a month to do it. And then also, yes, there are fail-safes in the rubric so that as long as you put forth effort, you're going to get at least a B. Now, again, if you go telling that to people in my future classes, I am going to have to switch that up, and you will have defeated the purpose. If you told them with the intent of making things easier for them, you will have, in fact, done the opposite and made things harder for them. So I don't want that information getting out. I will consider that cheating as well, an honor code violation. So please, again, just operate within the rules of the class, okay? So yes, your LibGuide should be turned in. I'm going to be trying to work on those other discussion boards as I can, and the semester-long project and the discussion board number 7. These are pretty much the only things that you all have left. So you've made it to pretty much the end of the road, and but again, don't slack off on that semester-long project either. But you pretty much made it to the end of the road, and for that, you should give yourself a pat on the back. I want you all to kind of feel good about the fact that you accomplished something when you do accomplish something. All right, let's go ahead now, and we're going to talk a little bit about the Gale Legal Forms database. That's going to be it for the state of the course update. Because, hey, the course is almost done. And, again, I've enjoyed my time with y'all. All right, friends. Again, thank you for your patience. And what we're going to do now is we're going to talk about the Gale Legal Forms database really, really quickly. I'll probably spend about 10 to 15 minutes just kind of talking about this. But again, this is one of the ones that I actually tend to show toward the beginning of the course, and I don't know how I missed it this time around. So if you have seen this before, again, I really, really apologize. But yeah, this is where we would go here. So I'm going to access this through my local public library, which is Mid-Continent Public Library. But one thing that I want you all to be aware of, because again, if you saw the database name, it did say Missouri Legal Forms. And I know that not everybody here is in Missouri. I don't want you all to think that this is limited to Missouri. More than likely, your local public library has a version of this for your state. We did have this in North Carolina. We did have this in South Carolina in those two states that I practiced in previously. So again, I think it's in all 50 states. I don't think it's in Korea, so I apologize to my student in Korea and to my student in Puerto Rico. I am actually just honestly not sure if there is a version of this for Puerto Rico or not. That is something that I would ask for you to address with your local public library. But yes, for the for lack of a better term, for the regular 50 states, you are going to see something that looks like this, okay? And and again, keep in mind that when I demo this or when I show you this, it's not a tutorial. It is a, excuse me for one moment. Yeah, so when I show you this, this is not a tutorial. If you really want to master the database, then you do need to find a tutorial and work on that tutorial. What you are seeing now is actually more so of me demoing it, telling you when you would use it, what it's used for, blah, 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 blah. But this is a very popular, public library database, okay? And one thing that I'm going to say is that this can be a neat database to kind of share with your friends. If you have friends and they're like, man, where can I get divorce forms? Or man, where can I get landlord-tenant forms or things like that? Where can I get examples of eviction forms and things? This is the place to go. This is the place to direct them to. And I do think that they do pretty good over here as far as the things that people come in for the most. This does track with my experience. Divorce is a big one. And, something that I'm, familiar with. So divorce is a big one. Real estate, wills and estates, landlord tenant, that was big. Power of attorney was big. Those were the main ones that I had dealt with, okay? And then you will see, I'm actually kind of surprised that automotive isn't over here, because automotive would be one that I would deal with as a lot as well. But as you can see, it's not over here. However, I am about to go into that. So I'm going to show you how this works, and I am going to kind of use automotive as the example of how the browse function works, and then we'll do a freeform search. So as far as how the browse function works, what you can do is you can come over to your browsing in main categories. You can come over here to automobiles, and then let's say that you are dealing with something related to bill of sale. Now, here's what I want you all to remember. They do have one of the main things to remember here is that as you're going through this, they're going to have state-specific forms, and then they're going to have generalized forms that you can tailor regardless of whatever state you're in. And the way you would distinguish that is by seeing, if you see this MO, then that's Missouri. If you are in whatever state, if you were in North Carolina, for instance, you would have an NC here. If you were in Montana, you have an MT there, so forth and so on. So these are the state-specific ones. If you're looking for something that is not state-specific, or if you wonder if something is state-specific or not, and you see this US, then that means that that is not state-specific. That is one that can be tailored to the situation that you are currently in. But let's go ahead and look at a few of these. So let's look at this one first. Actually, I'm going to look at this one, the sale as is. So we're going to pull that up. So one of the good features about this, and this is something that I think you might appreciate to my student in Puerto Rico, is that we do have most of these forms actually are in Spanish as well. So we've got English and Spanish. where you can get the sample. You can get a little description, kind of like how I told you all when we were looking at Academic Search Complete. I told you all to look for an abstract to get a summary. Here, if you want a summary, you can get a description. You can get the terms that you needed, like the specific key terms that you're going to see in the document. You can get definitions of them in related definitions. So that is a big deal and something that I appreciate. And then you can get a sample preview right here. So you look that over, and if it's the thing that you think you want, then easy peasy, you go over here, English, MS Word document, and come on, I'm gonna pause this. Okay, and then you're brought here, and yeah, from here you actually, once you've done this, you have a document that you can actually edit, and so that's why this is such a useful database and so many people appreciate it. So yeah, I could be in the state of Missouri, county of Jackson, selling a car for $1,000, and then I can fill out all that information. You are going to have to print before you sign, and then some of these are going to require a notary. So if you are going to need a notary, you should see that language down there as well. So that's pretty much how this works. And from here, I'm not going to save that, but yeah, so what I want to do is get back into the database. Thank you. Let's get back into the database, actually. So give me one moment. All right, and so let's say that you did see that. Let's say, actually, I'm going to go back. So we can go back here, and I'm going to do bill of sale again, but this time I'm going to show you one of the U.S. documents so that you can see how these are different. Because they are a little different. You saw how specific and well organized that Missouri form was. This form is not going to be as pretty. Okay, so you can come over here and then have this, and this time around what you're going to have is, as you can see, this isn't the type of form that looks so formalized and pretty and perfect. This is one that you would actually be able to adapt, this U.S. form, but still, as long as the people sign it, state of this, so it would be state of Missouri in this case, and county of Jackson, maybe I'm going to put Jackson. And then when you fill out that other information, yes, this one requires a notary as well, but as you can see, this one isn't as pretty. It's also easier to kind of manipulate like that. But this one also would need to be notarized. But if you have the signatures, then it still becomes a legally binding agreement. All right. And so that is how that works. Give me one moment. All right, and really that was pretty much all I really looked at, all I really had to deal with when I was doing this. One thing that I think they've taken out is the all states. Yeah, so it used to be, I think that it used to be that you could get them all, like as long as you subscribe to the database. I think that you used to get all 50 states. I believe that used to be the case, but now you can only get your state unless you pay into an upper tier, which Mid-Continent isn't doing. Tax forms, I will say that I find it easier just to go to the Department of Revenue's website for whatever state you're operating in to get tax forms, and if you need federal tax forms, just going to the IRS. I don't really champion using this for tax forms. The last thing that I'm going to show you, and then I'm going to go ahead and let you go, is the freeform search, and I hope they put it back. So I always used to do this with the example of wedding photography, and then that was gone, and they removed it. So yeah, see, I don't like that. They used to have, let me see if, yeah. So hold on, I'm actually going to pause before I show you all this so that I don't waste your time. I'll be right back. Yeah, so I hate when I lose features, but features get lost sometimes. That's just the nature of the beast, my friends. So, what we can do, like, let's say that you don't want to go through looking through all of these. Like, let's say that you want something dealing with photography. So you come down here and you see that photography isn't one of their main things. What you can do is put in a free-form search. So I'll put in photography and see what comes. And then you'll get this listing. So I got 10 forms, and let's say I'm looking at these, and then I'm like, what I really wanted was this freelance photographer agreement. I'm trying to employ a photographer to do the work at my wedding. Now, again, they used to have a wedding photography one, which I thought was on the money. I wish they hadn't gotten rid of that. But you can then click this, and again, you get this information here. This is going to be one of those US ones because there isn't a specific photography contract that's generated by the state of Missouri. But you can preview it here. Those things look good. Then again, you can download from here. And I'm going to pause for a minute. Okay, and then you end up with this thing right here. Okay, and so you end up with this, and you can, again, just fill in the information, the relevant information you need. Chase hereby employer, and I don't know, Dr. Atkins, she can be my independent contractor, and that's not how I spell my name. All right, there we go. So you get that, and you just, again, fill all this out. And once this is all filled out, this would be one where you don't have to use a notary. So again, you just both of you sign, and it becomes a binding agreement once it is signed. All right, and so that's pretty much how this database operates, my friends. And so, yeah, so if you're interested in some sort of continuation outside of that, I don't know why this thing keeps making me disappear. Hold on. I don't know, it did that twice in a row where when I went small, I couldn't see myself on the screen, and that's always awkward when I don't know where my head is, because then I'm going to be blocking things. But yeah, that is basically it. Okay, thank you. It didn't take me away that time. So yes, this is it for this week. Again, I want to continue to just shower some praise over you all for, it's been a tough semester, in a lot of ways, a lot going on with people personally, a lot going on with your instructors, not just me, but the other instructors in CISLD as well. It's just been a lot. People are going through it, y'all. It's been like this pretty much since the pandemic, but, you know, the worst, unfortunately, I don't even think the worst has come yet. But in the meantime, you all just continue to keep your heads up. I know that it's not easy out here right now, but continue to keep your heads up. And yeah, we are going to get through this. But when it comes to this class, you all are almost already through it anyway. So with that said, just keep it up. I am Dr. Jace, and you only have one more week of this particular race. Jace race, got that going. Yeah, we will talk next week and have our closeout video next week. And until then, I'll see you in the discussion boards.